He is going to pick up the lead with 197 of 200 laps being shown complete, making 196. We are working lap 197. Mark James Elio is in turn number 2.
At the exit of turn number 2, Elio Castro-Neves sees the car rush outside. He'll get it low on the racetrack, starting to go to the low side. And Elio Castro-Neves continues on the run. I believe that's Danica Patrick in show.
That's exactly right. So Danica Patrick looks like will be shown in second place, as Danica now trying to take advantage of the fuel strategy. And she pulls up on Elio Castro-Neves. He's out of fuel, or is he? They're going side by side. Danica Patrick is the leader, Mark James, as she comes to the line looking to complete 198 laps.
Danica Patrick a couple of laps away from the win.
This is Danica Patrick, the early years here.
I had premonitions earlier. I felt that she was going to change things. I could tell she was something different because she was winning already at 10 years old, beating 12 and 14-year-old kids.
It's hard for me to understand like how determined and how focused I was on it, because it was what I wanted to do. So it didn't really seem like it was a lot of work for me. When you want something that bad, you do whatever it takes.
Born in Beloit, Wisconsin on March 25, 1982, and growing up in Roscoe, Illinois, Danica has always been a competitor since she was a young girl. She became involved in her town in racing and later moved to England to pursue better racing training. In 2002, after returning to the U.S., she began driving for the Rahal Letterman racing team, owned by 1986 Indianapolis 500 champ Bobby Rahal and late-night talk show host David Letterman. In 2005, Patrick started competing in IndyCar events, which include the Indianapolis 500 race at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in Indiana. Here, she became only the 4th female to compete in this widely known race and was the first woman ever to lead a lap. For the next several years, pressure was built upon Danica to succeed in a sport dominated by men. Like any woman athlete trying to compete with men, the weight put on her shoulders was heavy as she carried hope for all women athletes trying to make it big. Getting a win was the next big step for this young female prospect and for the future of women's impact on sports. And that is exactly what she got at the Indy Japan 300.
Now on to turn 4, only a few hundred yards away from making history. Danica Patrick will win at Motegi. Danica is the winner of the Indy Japan 300. Davey Hamilton.
Before her victory, Patrick, much like Anna Kournikova, was an icon in sports because of her sex appeal and not so much of her success in her respective sport. However, this win erased all doubts that she was just another attractive bust and that she was a serious competitor in racing. She has been featured and sponsored in numerous advertisements and commercials and continues to be a big hit with the dudes. So we are here with Stephen Christie, my brother and first-hand viewer of Danica's historic victory. How you doing, man?
Doing alright, man. Thanks for having me.
Alright, no problem. So tell us about your first encounter with Danica Patrick.
Well, I haven't always been a big racing guy. I've been familiar with the big-name guys like Helio Castroneves and Tony Kanaan, but Danica emerging onto the scene was something different. She wasn't only eye-catching, but she had this underdog status that made her really fun to watch. Every weekend I was eager to see if she really was the real deal, and a win at the Indy Japan 300 was a huge victory for women in sports.
Alright, cool. So, going back to your comment about eye-catching, how has her sex appeal expanded her status now as a widely known sports figure?
Well, like I said, she's an attractive athlete, and these days, sex sells. Being a female driver in a male-dominated sport like racing is big enough, but her physical appearance makes her status rise that much more. She's more inclined to have more exposure in advertisements and media, more than most male athletes, because of how rare her feat is. She's also young, so she will be a big name in the world of sports for years to come.
Alright, thank you very much, Steven.
Thanks for having me.